Good morning to everyone. And as the PI of the past project, I would like to welcome you all to the OSG All Hands Meeting and wish you a productive and enjoyable, unfortunately virtual exchange of ideas and information. We all know the value and the power of building a strong community over the years, and we all hope that this all hand meeting will be another step in strengthening the community. For the event to be as enjoyable and productive as we would like it to be, we ask you to follow the OSG Code of Conduct that we worked hard to put one in place since the last all hand meeting, and please consult it on the web. So as I go along, I would like to remind you that when we use the term computing, it includes effective access to input data and placement of output data. There's always something to consume in the computing as input, and there's always some data to be produced, which is the output. And therefore, when we talk about computing, we include the input data and the output data. So along the same lines, when we talk about capacity, we talk about capacity that includes the storage space that is needed to support effective access to data. We are not in the business of storing data at rest, but we are definitely responsible for caching data as it is in transit to the computing, to the processing, and as it is in transit from the processing back to its destination. So once we have all this in place, we can move forward. And I would like to remind you, and maybe some of you who are not aware of all these details, that in October 2020, NSF launched the past project, and it is a partnership between the High Throughput Computing Center, CHTC, at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and the OSG Consortium. And together, this partnership is aiming to advance the technology and the adoption of throughput computing. So it consists, the project consists of two main components. One is the technology component, which is captured by the HD Condor software suite. And the second component is the fabric of services that is provided by the OSG. And this fabric of services that uses quite a bit of the HDCSS is enabling organizations like science collaboration and campuses and projects that actually we use these services as a project to operate distributed high throughput computing environments. And these environments go across more than 200 clusters, and these clusters are autonomous in the sense that they all are locally managed with their own policies. So you see here a collection of some of these organizations, but you also see here the overall structure of the ecosystem. And one of the things I want to stress in my opening remark is how aligned we are in pass with the vision of NSF about an ecosystem. So the director of the Office of Advanced Cyber Infrastructure, Manish Pasha, gave a talk earlier this month at the Major Facilities Workshop. And as you can see, PASS OSG is featured as one of the services that are funded and supported as part of this cyber infrastructure ecosystem. I think this is really a major achievement for us to be included with all these other key players in the cyber infrastructure ecosystem. In the same presentation, when he talked about moving from goals to actions, he pointed out, Manish, that when it comes that the action includes working on access, and there he mentioned the pilot that we provided through PASS, and I will show you that in the next slide, and also the allocation, which you will hear from Brian when he presents later this morning, the PASS facility. So in his slide talking about the democratization of access to national research infrastructure, and by the way, let me remind you that tomorrow morning we'll have a whole session that Frank will lead on exactly this topic. He presented the pilot that we were running for a CMU researcher who had a manager worker application that was using a PASS access point and the OSG fabric of services to access all these different capacities by us deploying the workers and then the manager from the access point using these resources. And that obviously includes also the Open Science Pool, which is our fair share capacity that we offer to the research in the US community. So we have, over the last year, worked hard to sort of crystallize the message that we have to the researchers. And what we are putting forth is to every US researcher saying, come and place your high throughput computing workload at an access point, and then use it to harness a fair share capacity that's offered by the Open Science Pool, and also bring your own capacity to the access point. And this own capacity can be allocation from ACTRA, can be cloud bank account awarded by NSF, and as Brian will talk later, it can be PASS credit account awarded by the NSF. So here's sort of a picture to try to capture this relationship between the access point, the ring of bring your own capacity, and the arrows going out to the different types of resources that are, there's the Open Science Pool and the PASS facility that we are providing. There are the commercial cloud, the extract resources, and then there are the collaboration capacity and the campus capacity, and all of them coming through the access point that we provide. NSF also came out with a dear colleague letter on awarding capacity for high throughput computing. I believe Brian will have some more comments about that, but what I wanted to show you that PASS and OSG are now featured in major NSF presentations. So our vision is that distributed high throughput computing and research computing facilitation are powerful enablers of scientific discovery. Many fields of science depend on high throughput computing. And if you study, and I encourage you to study this slide, think about how what you do or we do fits into these different boxes in the vision of NSF for a national research ecosystem.